This will be episode 153, cycle 2634, and onward. Feels good. It has been a long time coming, though. I will be honest on these playthroughs. Especially this one. We'll go through our standard priority check, and I will show the base around. Yeah, these ones go up on YouTube, so everything said from here on out, just know that the YouTube crowd will eventually see it. I am still glad that people actually like these. Come on, honey. Yeah, man. It does take a while to load one of these things. I think the base right now is like 36 megabytes when in compression form, which is kind of insane. Like average bases are like 5. When you start mega basing, everything starts taking forever. Come on. Load the dupes. It is trying to include oxygen, so loading is taking forever. Yes. To be honest, it actually does have to calculate gases. So, in theory, it is actually loading the oxygen. There we go. You'll notice that there's no gas while it's still loading. And now it all loads in. Get the base running here. Check out Allen. Yep, give it a second to catch up. And main base. There we go. Nope. Frodo, why are you injured? Load in and you're immediately injured. What's going on? The medbay. Ah yes. Welcome to Oxygen Not Included. This one is my primary main base. This is Fallout Shelters on steroids. To an extent, this was before Fallout Shelters by quite a ways. This was 2017. Bethesda played this and then was like, wait, we can do this as well. That's pretty much what happened. And ONI was actually in development by Cly long before that, actually, if I remember right. I think they were talking about it initially in like 2014. But they're like the way that they were originally doing it was completely different because of how like computations were being done in Unity. And yes, this game does run on Unity, and technically it is multiple bases simultaneously at once. And all of it does actually get calculated. So, all materials, all the gases in each base, all the fluids, everything has to be calculated simultaneously. And obviously the dupes. And their ability to navigate everywhere. Oh yeah, I will fully admit, ONI is very much a technical marvel. Especially of Unity. And what you can actually do with such an engine. But, the big thing that we've been working on is this. This is a petroleum boiler. Is it still possible to fail it? Yes. If I made like 3 primary big mistakes, I could absolutely lose my base. As of right now, everything is mostly stable due to the amount of water production. Like main base, I don't think could ever fail anymore at this point. Like my nuclear reactor could probably go off due to a bug. We would still be okay. I think the only real threat to me is if something were to happen to the nuclear core that I ended up creating. So you can run a nuclear reactor, you know, standard kind of idea, where it's just, oh yes, you have a nuclear reactor, you put uranium in it, it produces nuclear waste and energy and radiation. The biggest threat to me is this single tile right here. So I created, in almost every playthrough, ever since rad bolts were added to the game, a particle accelerator, where you take rad bolts and the radiation and you make them collide with each other or collide with an airflow tile, and it creates more nuclear waste. This is an infinite cycle that ramps up over time because you're actually making more nuclear waste pretty much from just energy, which then adds more rads, which then makes these things produce more rad bolts, which is why you have a core here that is currently 549,409 kilograms of nuclear waste. I'm going to back this up and hit the radio button. If we get closer than this, it's going to blow everyone's ears out. We have 90,000 rads per cycle in this one single tile. If this was to break, for whatever reason, I am 90% sure this entire segment of my base will become unlivable. Main reason being is, nuclear waste does not stack to 500,000. It stacks to about 700 kilograms. And then it starts making another tile. So if this pops, every wall around here will get destroyed due to overpressure, and the amount of radiation that would be emitting from it would be absolutely deadly to any duplicant that stayed near it for less than about 5 seconds. The upside is, I have infinite nuclear rocket fuel. And I can also use interplanetary launchers, which are just cargo railguns, and I can fire resources everywhere. Yeah, give it 10,000 to 20,000 years, so then it'll be livable again. Yeah, exactly. I would literally, if this was to pop at any point due to whatever bug, I would have to break this wall immediately and seal this thing in by like 5 tiles. I would just remove every door, seal the entire area, and just pray that it only gets vented into space. That would be the only saving grace that I have. I could harm the dupes as well by inadvertently removing my compressor, which would then cause oxygen to overpressurize the entire base. Everywhere that you see is teal is breathable to very breathable. Red is CO2s. Look at the top pieces, might be some hydrogen. Yeah, there's a little bit of hydrogen there. Yes, they would panic. Their stress levels would start skyrocketing because their radiation would start kicking in. They would start getting slowed down. Their ability to eat and other things would start going into the toilet, and it would be immediate panic for me, and it'd be immediate panic for my dupes. Because that would be really, really bad. That'd be like worst case scenario. Oh, hey, wait for it. A Mima with cooking. Cooking 9. Shriveled taste buds and plant murderer. Nope. Gossman, ranching 1, operating 1, decorating 1, aesthetic design, caregiver, and triphobia. Maybe early this would be useful, but ones across the board, not so great. Salt water of 2,000 kilograms or free Weeswort. We're taking the Weeswort. They're easier to print than anything else, so we're definitely taking that. Also, I do need to send Jean back here soon. I should mention this entire planet used to be an ice planet, and we have turned it into a steam battery with a base on top. At this point, I am currently just trying to get rid of the excess water. And by getting rid of it, I mean turning it into steam, by letting the volcano slowly warm it up. I do need to clean out this layer of sour gas. We did have a low pressure moment, which then caused some of our plastic ladders to melt. But besides that, we should be okay. I'll be just venting that in space. Also, the PIP Sanctuary. And yes, for decor value, green is good. Pips can kind of handle it themselves, though. Pretty good. At least on that front, anyway. I also did put a recreational room right in the middle and leave the door open. Because the pips actually get bred on up in here. They go over here for food. And the dupes stand in this room whenever they're on break. Yep. Forget how many are actually in this room. I know in this room there's only 12 at the moment. What, 1, 2, 3, 4, about 8 in there. Give me a second. Let's see. We're getting 12, 14, 12, 13, 7. It's about what, like maybe 30 in there in total? I think it's a little over 30. It's hard to tell. I know. One of my dupes needs to go to the bathroom and they're being forced to hug a cuddle pup. Like... Okay, good. Super Schmidt's got it. No problems there. We do have a primary feeding room for producing dirt, because that's what these little guys do. Runoff area down here. At least 1 billion of them. Yeah, pretty much. You ought to see a lot of them. I have Drecos up here. There's 52 in there, 7 for each chamber. These guys are for plastic and for reed fibers for their suits, for my dupe suits. And over here on Butalin, obviously we have our new petroleum boiler. I have been working on figuring out how we're going to do phosphorus more efficiently. I think I'm just going to do the old door trick. That'll be fine. Oh, also we got more magma. Nice. Probably need to tweak that a bit more. But what do we have in here? We have 47 in here. And all of these are specifically for, well, this is my cattle. Yes, I do play Kerbal. I do also have Kerbal 2, and man, did I want that one to actually be good. I have played a lot of modded Kerbal in the past. I do hope that they eventually fix Kerbal 2, but I think it's going to be a very long time before they get it to where it's not, you know, on fire 99.9% of the time. Okay, 4.9 cycles on that. Also, how is my crude coming along? Terribly, just to make it to the moon, crash my rocket and uninstall. Oh no! Do you need a walkthrough on how to do that, or? Oh no, that's a little oof. Okay, I do need to actually tap into this one. Problem I have is I'm pretty sure I need to actually build a pump on this side. I hope it doesn't overflow everything. I need one of these bad boys right there. Some of us were just not meant to be astronauts. You know what? That's fair. I do have some dupes that are technically not meant to be astronauts. I think Potatoes was one of them. Yeah. I am kind of forcing my hand on some of my dupes, though. Like, some of them it's like, yeah, you're really, really not meant to fly. Pretty sure I have not taken a yokel, though. So if a duplicant has a negative trait called yokel, they can't do research, which means they can't actually get to rocketry, which really, really sucks. One of the few traits I will never take. That one and allergic. Allergic dupes are just, I will never do that again. I don't care what chat says. I will never, ever, ever take an allergic dupe again. I felt so bad for the poor guy when I had to call him in. Because it's like, ah, yes, he didn't come into contact with any germs whatsoever. He still started having an immediate allergic reaction to just existing in the base. It was awful. Like, allergic dupes are pretty much unmanageable because of that, where the game just goes like, you can check for germs. Notice how there's like nothing here. 0 germs. And yet they can stand in it, and then randomly just start having a problem. Nope, Vern, not again. Vern, why are you standing here? Sir, why? Give me a second. Whenever your dupes dig up here, because of how far away it is, they only do one dig order and then they move. Sometimes Vern, as we have noticed from previous episodes, sometimes he'll try to do 3 or 4 of them, and then he gets scalded. And it's like, your suit can handle 1,099.9 degrees centigrade. Please stop standing above that temperature. Yeah, 1,180. Like, don't go in here, do this one. Like, this is here. This one's a vacuum. Do this one. Why did you go up here? Actually, yeah, why did you go up there? You can do this one. Like, I'll force my hand here. Double up on that one, and I'll remove this ladder. That way he doesn't get the idea of going that way. Up priorities. Thank you, Vinard. I know, right? Till his feet start lighting on fire. And it's like, dude, what are you doing? like, not like this, dude. Not like this. Please stop scalding yourself. I don't need injured dupes. I need safe dupes. Ones that are OSHA compliant. Please don't stand in the magma that's lightly solidified. There. I should keep him on that side. Still questioning why he didn't dig up here, this, or... I'm assuming he didn't dig this one because I technically didn't have contact with it, even though we had it before. But he still had access to these. And they're all the same priority, so he should have done those probably first because they're easily accessible. Here, I'll raise these to 6. Okay. Hopefully he follows the priority order instead of being a moron. I'ma just hope. Also, did we actually get all these? Yes, we did. Check mud in the base, but it's just his melted boots. Yeah, pretty much. It's like, why is there like melted plastic on the floor? And it's not naphtha. Because melting plastic in this game gives you naphtha. And it's like, yeah, that's not naphtha. That's just Vern's shoes. Also, I have no idea what he's just doing. He ran that way and then ran back. I was assuming he was already had food. He was going to get food, but he had it in his hand. Well, your dupes just do really weird things. You can believe in your dupes all you want. Just never trust them. Like, number 1 rule of Oxygen Not Included. Never trust your dupe. You can believe in them. You can encourage them. You can build their bases perfectly for them. But never believe the fact that they will not try to kill themselves. Or get severely injured. They have a very nasty habit of doing that. Also, let's see. I do need to send another rocket launch. This one ready? No. That one's ready. I go back to main base, and we need to refill the rocket. Let's send stuff there. Turn off safety. Yep, slowly increasing. That's what I like to see. Yeah, I know. Their eating animation's pretty good. Do we still have salt? We're running low on salt, I think. Either that, or the dupes are not getting around to doing it. No, we are not. The dupes just are not getting around to doing it. We have 6.4 tons of salt. Dupes. Your table salt. What the... Yeah. What are you doing? Oh. We currently have a completely blissed out Sparkle Streaker. Off he goes. If you see confetti in my base that's trailing a duplicate that's almost impossible to keep a track of, that's one of my Sparkle Streakers. When they get an overjoyed reaction, they get hyperspeed. I wonder what's more difficult, making a game like this one or a game like Trove? I would probably say Oxygen Not Included is the harder game to actually make. Now, it's not a harder game to balance. Once you get the fundamentals of base survivability and you reach super sustainability inside the game for players, it's probably easier to balance, but then trying to add in more mechanics becomes infinitely harder. Whereas Trove, it's just like, I would say it's technically more hard, like it's more difficult to get Trove going as a multiplayer game than you would for a single player game like this. Because obviously with Trove, you have to keep creating events, you have to keep doing minor things, and then whenever you do a large-scale update, you actually have to market it properly. Clyde just kind of just slaps us with updates and then continues to, like, actually balance and build this game. But I do think that, technically speaking, Oxygen Include is probably a harder game to actually build. Mostly because of thermal conductivity and, like, actual statistics of everything. Like, for instance, every single gas, liquid, or solid can state change. That alone is actually kind of a pain in the ass to code. Like, take ethanol, for instance. Ethanol liquid at 78.4 degrees turns into a gas. When you freeze it, you actually have to drop it 3 more degrees due to how state changing works. Yes. Like, thermal conductivity is probably the hardest thing that you can code into a game. Every single tiny gradient to the nth degree is calculated. And it's calculated real time, which is why when I hit this button, my frame rate dies. Because there's no way to adaptively change all objects' temperatures to the same temperature when you actually factor in realistic, to an extent, thermodynamics. Because every time a duplicate's interacting with something, they're adding or subtracting temperature just by existing near it. Any object moving, any fluid moving, any gas moving, all of these are calculated in game ticks, but they're all calculated real time. That's why I say, technically speaking, Oxygen Included is probably a more complex game to actually build and code than Trove is. Because again, temperatures are a bitch in any game. Any game that actually factors in temperature as a gradient is, yeah, they're one-upping their poor computers into flaming territory. Also, looks like our nuclear rocket is almost ready. Let me check on their food real quick. Yep, they're doing good. I'll get Stella to their rocket shortly. Also, the automation does actually matter. Like, we don't actually have that much automation when it comes down to just single input-output stuff, but we do have a fully controlled water system at this point. And one more shot, and we should be good for a launch. I'm currently going for an achievement which is called Mine the Gap. Pull my summary, colony summary here. All the way down here. We need to grind out 1 million kilograms from space POIs. It is a very long and tedious process. We actually can probably get a lot of these other ones done very quickly once Mine the Gap is done. I get a room is actually super simple because it's just build one of every room on one asteroid. Carnivore was not possible in this current playthrough. If we had the Cuddle Pip update before I started this, this would have been doable. Moving on up is just reaching the Gassy Moo planet. Critter Whisperer is finding and taming every single animal in the game. I still have to do a Shine Bug and a Poke Shell. Honorary Doctorate means it's our last tech. Great Escape is something that we're going to do soon, but not yet. And then Cosmic Archaeology is finding all of the terrestrial artifacts and studying, aka bringing them back to maintenance. So we're actually very close. Also, the rocket is ready. Yep. And we've done a couple large-scale projects. Mostly all for the infrastructure. And yes, this is a nuclear rocket, and yes, it is somewhat lethal radiation. Thankfully, it doesn't stick around to be too bad. Oh. God damn it, are we getting quantum tunneling crabs again? We are. No! We fixed this bug. God damn it. Fly! It's back. Not again. I hate when this happens. So, whenever a duplicant is running a rock crusher, virtual planetarium, or a botanical analyzer, my poke shells can reach them. They are up here in this little box. They cannot leave this box. They have no way of ever reaching a duplicant unless the duplicant stands in this door, which they can't. This door is actually double doored because I kept having dupes trying to stand here and then they kept getting hit. But sometimes the poke shells can just randomly smack my dupes that are down here near the rock crusher. And it's literally a quantum tunneling crab. I hate it. And I thought they fixed this because they put out a patch and they even talked about it in the forums and apparently it was fixed. Which is why the last couple episodes we haven't had this happen. But it looks like the bug is back again. And Zal literally just got a giant chunk of their health bar ripped off. Like, god dang you quantum tunneling crabs. This is also why it's very hard to tame poke shells and why we don't have them done yet. Because they are dangerous. If they have a poke shell spawn near them, specifically the egg, then they become hyper aggressive. And when I say near them, I mean if I take from this tile and then draw a line, where is it? 15 tiles that way, 15 tiles that way, and 8 tiles that way. If there is an egg that they can see within that range, they become aggressive. Yes. Dang you, quantum tunneling crabs are whacking Zal. You bastards. That's frustrating. That should have been fixed. It was like, yay, they finally fixed it. No, they didn't. It's back. It's back with a vengeance. Damn you. Oh well. This is why we have medics. I'll be fine. It's only mildly annoying. Okay, let's see. Okay, so he has been digging. He has been digging a little bit. Okay. We do need to actually get that tile undone. I'm currently naturally planting sleet wheat, specifically to do large-scale food transportation for orbital food, just in general. I do need to eventually clean that up. 8%. The way that you do this, though, for naturally planting things, you can't actually have the dupes do this. You need the pips, which is why I like pips so much. Very useful. Let's see, you're age 24, age 8, 45, 30. I think this is our one. We already have an egg. I could probably actually send over more pips, to be honest. I can just teleport them in. Quantum tunnel back to you. No patch fix will keep out the crab that can quantum tunnel. I know, I know. Technically speaking, what's happening is the game is compressing the map. So, everything is happening in real time. It's all, in theory, running in the background as one giant super map. So with the DLC for Auction Not Included, you get multiple planetoids, and every planetoid is technically in its own little box. But the thing is that the actual map compression of objects does happen when you're not viewing it. So it's like Schrodinger's cat kind of thing. If I turn this on, you will notice there are plants over here. This map is technically directly connected to another map, but when you're not looking at it, the map is actually compressed in the back end of Unity's engine. When everything is compressed, different layers of the game, such as duplicate layer, object layer, interaction layer, critter layers, and the other stuff, is all running in the background. Problem is the reason that the crabs can actually reach your dupes is because, in theory, the game is going, ah yes, the duplicate is on its own independent layer down here. But the game doesn't calculate the walls anymore. It only calculates if there's oxygen, if there's temperature, and a couple other things. what happens is that the game will stop calculating that these guys are in a walled box. And they're technically now in range of the duplicates when the map has been compressed. So what's happening is all of this material from here to here doesn't exist to the crabs. And or for the dupes. But the dupes are still interacting with all the machinery, so they're getting put on the crab layer. Which means then they're getting punched for it. Because they're then technically in range of the crabs. If you're not looking at them, they can hit your dupes. And it's really annoying. This also happens with the bees. The bees can be in a chamber, and then all of them just die randomly. And there's no dupes anywhere near them. But then you look around for which dupe has been injured, and then you find that your dupe that's been cooking for God knows how long just ate 90% of their health gone. And they ended up killing all of your bees. And it's absolutely dreadful. I think that we've had that happen like 4 or 5 times now, where it's just, I have lost entire colonies of bees that I have been raising all simultaneously because they just attacked my dupe on this stove. And I'm like, no! No! Not my hives! I need them for nuclear resources. For reference, betas eat uranium and produce enriched uranium. They're technically Korvax, like Korvax solution. So they actually produce nuclear material for your nuclear reactors at a 95% rate. Bees are awesome. I hate losing them. They come back every 5 cycles. Their age cycle is very short, thank goodness. But losing them is still 5 cycles of not creating any enriched uranium, which is really bad. Like, it's actually super annoying. It's like, no, not my bees. Dude, stop killing my wildlife. And the crabs smack them around, and I'm like, okay, you guys are just making me mad, but the bees, not the bees. I need them to live. It's actually one of the reasons that we're cleaning out down here. Eventually, I will freeze this entire area out back into water, and then we're going to lower the temperature to about -40, so these guys can just survive. They prefer having a comfort range between -90 to -10, and I normally put bees around -40. That way they stay content. I do need to keep launching more nuclear pickup missions, though. Our only nuclear cloud is all the way over here, which has all of my uranium ore. Well, all my renewable uranium ore. The good news is, I don't really have to worry about rebel production because of, you know, giant nuclear waste. Like, I have created a sun in my base. A microtized sun of nuclear radiation. It is quite beautiful. I'm not gonna lie. It's so nice seeing my little cores working their magic. So much radiation. Great. But, yeah. I need to send Jean back. Jean, is there anything else I need you to help Thea out with here? I don't think there is. I mean, technically you can repair these. It's not like we can do anything with them yet. How's the iron? Iron's down to reasonable temperatures. What's the coldest space in my base right now? Besides the freezer. We have room. That's the question. Technically we do. Have a storage container. You know what? Screw it. Give me a sec. Fine metals. Iron. Cool. Ice to World of Steam. Yep. From an entire ice planet to a entire Steam world. Technically, it's like I just built a giant steam battery underneath my base, and then I just cored out everything else. This is practice for terraforming Mars. I mean, technically this would be more practice for terraforming Titan. Because this was an ice world. Like, everything on this planet was like negative 100 and... what? Yeah, negative 136.3 degrees centigrade. Mind you, this is all regular water ice. So methane would be a lot worse to work with. But This is kind of what your base would probably end up looking like. It would be grungy, hellish, an absolute nightmare. But it would be livable, and you would have food and power. Now your solar panels would suck, as they do here, because this is very far away from the sun. But at least they work. And there's technically no upper atmosphere in Titan, if I remember. It's technically a thin layer of haze from the methane output. That's really about it. Also, we're slowly cleaning out all the excess puffs that we don't need. I agree with that. Completely. 100%. And when I say another planet, I don't mean moon. Now, don't get me wrong. I would love to see the moon actually get colonized properly. And using that as a staging point for Mars. But I kind of doubt that because I feel like people are going to try to jump the gun and go for Mars immediately without the moon. And that would not be a good idea, in all honesty. Because it's like, ah yes, I would like to build something on Mars. Well, your best step is to build on the moon. Build that as a staging area. Because it only takes about 2 hours to get there if you actually set up proper interplanetary transport. And then you can use that to get resources to Mars faster with less rocket failures. Because because of the lower gravity and no atmosphere, you can send a hell of a lot more massive materials from the moon to Mars in a safe way. Not technically faster because the distance is still just as bad. But it does actually make it so that way it's easier to resupply a Martian base than it would be to just do it from Earth. I don't like that fact either, but that is really the case here. It's like, the reason NASA wanted to go to the moon and then build a moon base there before they even thought about touching Mars was that very specific reason that, well, it's easier, faster, and safer. Yep, and also making it safe for human habitation. Because, well, Martian radiation is nothing to scoff at. Like, most of my bases in this game, ever since they added radiation, you really do have to think about it. Because every single one of these asteroids is, well, it's bathed in radiation. It's not technically too much, like per day, but still pretty bad. Like if I had my dupes directly exposed to this, they would not survive. Duplicants can actually handle 100 rads per cycle, which is insane when you think about it. But, yeah, 218 rads per cycle, direct exposure would be really bad. They can only poop out 100 at a... well, and 100 every time they go to the bathroom. Just don't miss. It would be easier to just blow up asteroids in an offshoot area while keeping it in the gravity well of a planet. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, if you're gonna asteroid mine, it's probably easier to just send the asteroid to, like, Martian orbit and then blow it up in Martian orbit and then collect the materials that come down. Because that way, even if it explodes, it's not like it's going to have enough force to escape the actual gravity well of Mars. And then you can just go collect all the material when it comes raining down. Obviously, don't build a base in the area that you're going to do it in, but you know what I mean. There are much simpler and faster ways of doing it. I gotta get back in here and actually flip this around. Need your ship plates maneuvered over a bit. I need a door here, 2 tiles, and 2 temp ship plates. And that ladder's gotta go because we need a... automation. Thermal sensor made out of steel. It needs to go there. And that's got to connect to the door. You have all, yeah, I know. The value of them immediately just plummets. Yep. It's like the only problem with that is then we hit the point of abundance, and then it's just like, congratulations, humanity no longer is scarce for resources except water, and even then we can probably repopulate with salt utilizing electrolysis. So it's not too big of a deal. Now the fun part, getting back in here from this side safely. So I need to actually build a liquid lock here and then go in. I completely forgot that phosphorus actually produces energy and oxygen not included. When its state changes from phosphorite, it has a lower thermal capacity than when it turns into phosphorus. When it turns into phosphorus, it gains almost 6 times its actual energy from its original mass. Which is great if you're going to make a reactor out of it. Terrible if you're just trying to produce cold, pure phosphorus. It's really bad, actually. And if we're going to harvest asteroids for resources, we'd be capable of harvesting the ice ones too? Yep. That's if we can find the ice ones. Ice ones are actually kind of a pain in the ass to find. Not to mention they get propelled and normally turn into comets by the sun's actual energy. Kind of one of those catch-22 situations. And so I need to do... And this is gonna suck. Not gonna lie, this is gonna be kind of terrible. We are gonna have to go in like this. And this is gonna be hot. Thankfully, not too hot for the dupes, but still somewhat dangerously warm. Also, the water situation. Going off soon? Yep, 2.1 cycles. Turning gas giants into different things we want. No, I don't think tampering with a planet's mass would be a good idea for this. No, it would not be. Yeah, I would not mess with Jupiter or any of the other gas giants. It's not really worth the effort. Technically, you could add more mass to Jupiter to turn it into a brown dwarf, and it would still maintain the same thing that it's already doing. But it would be kind of a waste of the energy, and not to mention that it really wouldn't impact any useful planet. At least as of current. If we're talking for long-term sustainability, it would be possible to do so. But it really wouldn't be worth it. You'd be better off building a stellar engine around the sun if you wanted to expand, if you wanted to extend the solar system's total lifespan, you would be much better off building a solar engine. Is then you can literally drain the excess gases that are not useful for fusion because they're automatically being emitted by the sun, and then utilize that energy to scoot the sun wherever the heck you wanted inside the Milky Way. Chris Kazai actually did a video on it where what the scientist originally came up with the concept was doing the math for it, and it's like, this is actually more reasonable than turning Jupiter into a brown dwarf and then moving the Earth towards it to put it in orbit when the sun goes supernova, or not supernova, but when it turns into a red giant. It's like, that's really dumb, but that's also funny. It's like, this is actually less resources, less actual computational work, and more useful than doing the other thing that we thought we might have to do like 2 billion years from now. And it's like, that's actually funny. Yeah, we'll have to build it from that side and reach in. I have one more ladder just in case. Yeah, it would be releasing too much radiation. So the likelihood of it happening would probably be much lower. I'm not the puff footprint. I need puffed end. Do that one forever. We only need pufflet princes and squeaky buffs. Actually, I probably could just do this. Oh, this is going to be tight. So for reference, we are making true phosphorus, which I have never done before because it never actually had a use. Refined phosphorus is actually utilized in overclocking, utilizing labs, all of your volcanoes, all of your vents, everything that makes resources that's infinite, you need pure phosphorus for. I think there's only a couple things that don't use it. That's why we're doing so much work just to get this thing operational. And on the other hand, we are just making petroleum. I'm pretty sure we are currently filled. Ew. Turn that off for a second. Yep. Let me clean that up. And reconnect this. I'm actually quite surprised that we already have this much material. Good. I never need to worry about power. The only thing I need to do is start recapturing the water that's produced from the petroleum generators. So I'm pretty sure it's still way too hot over here. Yeah. Now, we're going to definitely have to improve our water capture system. I'll just use igneous rock. We don't really have to worry about it otherwise. But we start adding all the insulated tile that we're gonna need. I will need a cooling loop. Probably use super coolant for it. We could use petroleum. It's not a big deal. I don't know. I like just making it more efficient because we're already at the point of like we're literally at the end game, so it's like screw it, just super coolant everything. Have another plants before the sun takes a poop. Yep. Whether it's life, but we realistically have maybe a few 100 million years before it probably becomes too hot. If I remember right, it's 2.3 billion years. That's the calculated point when it starts going off. Like it should be about like 2.1 to 2.3. And that's when it'll start doing a bit of trolling. And if we haven't solved it yet, then yeah, Earth's going to have some problems. Its entire lifespan's way beyond that point, though. Like, I remember it technically hypothesized to go into scientific notation levels of years because of what it actually is. Because it'll just become a red giant, and red giants last for a very, very, very long time. Like, incomprehensible amounts of time. It won't ever explode because it doesn't have enough energy in it to possibly do that, but it's definitely on the stranger side of things when it comes down to orange stars / red giants. Yep. Red dwarfs can literally like live for like 1 trillion E like 17. like 17 zeros after that. like quadrillion years or something stupid. Sometimes it's just insane. We do need to actually tame some shine nymphs. Plug sluglet. We do already have plenty of plug slugs. I'm thinking we're actually gonna call them in here. I gotta be careful with them because they'll be near the beds. I forget. They have a feeder. Kind of. Where to put the shine bugs if I do let them out in this base? I really don't know. Maybe near hordes? I don't really have any space in the lab for them. I don't really want them in the kitchen. Maybe we could let them in the kitchen. It's not that big a deal. They are highly radioactive, though, so... Crap. I'm gonna call the eggs in here, and then we'll see where we can put them. I'm almost tempted to just shove them down here. I design things that can survive a brown dwarf. I don't know. Brown dwarves are weird. And technically speaking, they have the same gravity as the sun. They're just smaller. They have slightly less. The biggest issue, obviously, would be the radiation that it outputs. They just, obviously, they still emit heat. Limited heat, but they still do emit heat. So, I don't know. Having a brown dwarf would be a bit weird. I don't think it's definitely not impossible. It would just require some serious engineering to pull it off. No. Make that out of steel so I don't have to worry about temperature. Yep. Absolutely, yep. Station, grooming station. This one I don't really care. Golden Mine. And high priority, all of that. Should be accessible. Yes. Yeah, we're going to put the shine bugs down here so I don't have to worry about the radiation and the light. Radiation will probably still break through some of the tiles, but not that big of a deal. This, on the other hand, I need to be very careful. And the iron is taking forever. Crap. You know what? Aluminum tile, let's go. I need temperature transfer and I need it now. I know. He's got a full bladder. Gene. Put that there. Go there. Please don't piss yourself in the tiny suit. We have one suit, and I don't want you, like, over here, I don't want you pissing yourself in. Please don't do that. Thank you. Good job, Dupe. The little sad face in the toilet. There you go, bud. Okay. Be a higher priority there. Keep an eye on them. True Phosphorus should reseal the liquid lock. Yes, it did. Yep. I mean, technically we could do the Dyson Sphere. It would just require consuming mercury. Like, in all honesty, that's pretty much what you're looking at. Oh? Oxygen actually survived? You gotta be kidding me. That's such a muddy purple. Don't repair that yet. We need to fix the cooling loop, Dupe. Yeah, do that one first. And we need those temperature shift plates removed. I need to put a door here. We get rid of the oxygen? No, we didn't. It just moved. Cheeky bastard. Oxygen, hydrogen. We're gonna have to actually seal this in first and then go from there. Okay, so he's done that. We need a steel door here. Yep. Yeah, they would just dismantle Mercury from the ground up. Yeah, it's definitely, it's a Grey Goo, like, idea, which is really, like, probably the only way to pull off a full Dyson sphere. Because, like, again, you're making a super thin ring or just, like, mesh around the sun to actually extract its energy. Like, it's an insane endeavor when you really think about it, for how massive the sun actually is. It's not even that. Earth, if I remember right, technically speaking, wouldn't have enough materials to do it. Even if we did do it. Like, Mercury is still, like, even if you fully dismantled Mercury, it still would almost be not enough. That's what's insane about it. And yes, before anyone asks, I will crush the oxygen out of here. Sure. Nope, I got somebody who needs to go to the bathroom. I know, it's Pub. Pub, go buddy, go. You are not needed. Jiro's got this. Go to the bathroom, bud. I don't need you pissing your suits. Oh, you're having a sparkle streak moment too. Go, go, go. You have super speed. Go. I'm just waiting for him to actually hit plastic or regular. Yeah. What is it? Oh, no. There we go. Off he goes. I mean, that's pretty much what the discussion was originally about, was doing that exact thing. Okay, so it is above 200, no, 249? I need to remember what the state change point was. Phosphorus gas, 280. That's not what I need. I need phosphorite. Phosphorite turns into liquid phosphorus at 243.9. So we need 247.9. Okay. It really does not want to go for the point. Yeah, we'll do 248. That'll be fine. Once it turns into liquid phosphorus, it shouldn't state change into a gas until 280. I am thinking that I do need to plug this in, though. We actually have the steel for this. We do not. Nope. You do not have the steel for this. You need to be moved. We move back one. You can be repaired now. I do need to add more hydrogen to the tank system. But I mostly need to crush the oxygen out of here. Leave that as igneous rock. You need to dismantle this. And it needs to be scooted here. Now I can reduce the amount of cooling that is required. Sad part is I don't think I can get the door yet. Nope, we're two away. Damn it. We're two away. Do I really? Yeah, I'm going to say 50-50 on the door. See if this actually gets rid of the gas. Yes. Hooray! We crushed it. I just got to crush the oxygen out of existence. If I can do that, then I can reseal it with insulated tiles, and we don't need to worry about going back in there. I can also extract all this phosphorus that's just sitting there. Personally, I do believe that by then, I don't really think we have to worry about much, because that's literally way beyond the point that the sun, you know, technically goes kaboom. Well, I should say swells up, not goes kaboom. Technically, it would be beyond even that point, because if I remember correctly, based on the time frame of estimates based on distance traveled, it's like, what, 4.3 billion after that? So the sun would already, like, have already hit its prime point. I don't really know what would happen after that point, because it's like, how do you calculate when you would already have to have done something to protect the sun? I don't know. One of those weird ones. I just need to get the oxygen under here. Once we do that, then I don't care if the hydrogen comes in here, because I can always add more hydrogen. Any hydrogen lost is fine. We just can't have the same gases in the same tiles, so this is all going to get built. I don't know, because the centrifugal force of the moon is still keeping it in track. It's one of those weird ones. Okay, one more tile to go. Then we gotta come back in here, build this, add our insulated tiles, remove the liquid lock. We should be fine. I know, space is very weird. Space has some really weird planets, some very, very strange galaxies in general. Like, if I remember right, there's what, 2 alcohol galaxies out there that are literally just pure alcohol. It's like, Like, wait, what? And it's just, yeah, no, it's pure, like, just absolute freaking ethanol. And it's like, how does that even work? Don't ask me. I don't know. I mean, if it's possible for it to form naturally, that might actually be possible. That would be weird as all hell, though. Hey, Frank. Your dupe is doing great, by the way. I can find him real quick. Where is the fray? All the way down. Hologram engaged. Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, like an actual one might be actually possible, which is very weird. God knows what you're actually, like... God knows what a supernova plus a couple other, like, things can do to another galaxy's, like, mass. Hey, yes, your dupe is doing good. For some reason they have sluggy feet, though. Kind of wondering where they've been going. Oh, I know what they're doing. Okay. That's fair. Let's see. 0 in piloting so far. 13 in construction, one of my best. Excavation is 19 with a skill level 13. Machinery is at 20. Athletics is at 20. 27 with skills. Science is actually at 2 due to advanced research. Cuisine, they have yet to cook anything. Strength, they are at 7 with 11 with the skills. Creativity, 0. Agriculture, 6. And ranching, husbandry, 10. 8 and stuff. Might need to actually set them up to start cooking stuff. Ray, can you handle that? You're at 19. Can't do art fundamentals, sadly, but... I think you could probably do cooking. It's only 1 point. Yeah, fuck it. I've got 2 grills here now, so it's not really a big deal if I have a bad cook on one of them for a while until they get their skills down. If I had infinite time on this playthrough, I'd probably bring every single dupe up to 20 in every skill. You could burn water close enough, yes. No, even at level 0, they can still make barbecue. It just takes them forever to do it. I'll just up-phrase order requirement. Oh yeah, I forgot. Hey, they got salt. Oh. Same with Frodo and his pink jumpsuit that I could never get him to take off. I gave up. I normally have color-coded dupes when it comes to their suits, but yeah, he put on the pink spandex and he never took it off, no matter how many times I ordered him to. I just gave up after a certain point. I'm like, you know what? Screw it. You can keep your pink spandex. It's not the dress code of rocket pilots, but I don't care. You do you, dude. You do you. Dupes, did you ever grab the PIP? I don't think they did. I'm being pulled by sun gravity, so yeah. That's what I was thinking, but the problem is beyond that point, it would already, like, the sun would have already went, technically, you know, red giant. So I don't know. And yes, I think it does, but I can't put my finger on it. Oh, they did bring him in. Okay. Somehow he's over here now. Yep, did you actually plant there? Good. Okay. If I clean that up, he should plant the next one. Then we do the next one, and then the next one. We can also remove these ladders. We don't need them anymore. You have to manually plant every plant utilizing pips. You go from top right to bottom left, and you do them in strips. Pips don't like planting it any other way, so gotta be done in this manner. He'll slowly pathfind his way back over. So right now, that's all of his pathfinding. So eventually he'll figure it out. Bella's just eating, having a bad time, but that's fine. Cargo capacity remaining. Getting pretty close. Yep, exactly. Yeah, remember the sun will just goes into a red giant state, so it actually enlarges as it starts processing different gases. That's why I said that the moon pulling away would most likely happen after that point, so it really wouldn't be an issue. Because if we haven't solved the sun, doing a bit of trolling, well, there's no fixing that after that point. There's only panic. Lots and lots of panic. Okay. We really need to build it. Dude, please build that. I need this. I need the stuff colder. Because you taking it back in a rocket is going to be a nightmare to deal with. Sorry, duplicate. Like, poor Jeans is going to be like, oh yes, I have brought 90-degree iron back. Now, that was just in a container, no biggie. But that's going to be on the floor. Not so good. That's I need to queue that up. Come on, guy. Come on. There you go. There we go. If I remember right, the mass will stay the same. The only issue is technically there's more surface area for it to eject mass. So eventually it will start going down. Still a fun thought. The more I think about it, it would take a very long time anyway. Lost all gravity effects of the moon. Remained in the same orbit somehow. We'll be drifting along in our orbit way... Yeah, very quickly. Just waiting for the autosave. Yep. It's kind of weird to think about when it's like, yeah, the sun would get bigger, but it would lose mass. Because it technically has more surface area to eject mass off into space. How much ice do I even have up here left? Brine ice? Yes, it is. Hey, Okami. Couldn't sleep? That's fair. I do need to sort out the oxygen. Oh, I should say I need to sort out the water situation. Because even though we are running the reservoir, don't know if the alone can reprocess enough poop. I should say excrement to offset it. And the shower does actually produce more water than it consumes, or well, more than it uses. Just slightly. I'm like, don't know. I still decide to lay down, so don't mind me. Oh, feel free. Anybody's free to look here. This is a really interesting simulator. Yes. Yeah, Universe Simulator is pretty good. I'm sorry, Universe Simulator. Very, very good. Yep. Yeah, the sun is just fusing things. Yep. That's always been the weird part about it. It's like, it gets bigger because it's actually fusing heavier elements. But it's still the same mass. It's weird. Yep. Like, wouldn't it shrink? It's like, nope, it has to get bigger to process the fuel that it's using for fusion. So, it makes things really, really, really weird. Yeah, we're very food positive. Always a good sign. You know what? I can handle 65 degrees. Take this chunk of iron back with us. Personally, I do think we can take more iron, but I don't really know if the dupes are willing to bring it to me because of the temperatures. So the second we do this, we gotta get out of here. I also need to probably send water over. Most of them are, yes. This is one of the few ones where I'm like, the entire base itself is completely self-sustaining. The only issue with it is that it is technically overproducing oxygen, which means we are draining more water than we're actually consuming, even though everything is actually... I think some of the O2 is actually getting bleeded, which is actually kind of a problem. Oh yeah, this is more than enough food, and it's definitely more than enough steam to not have to worry about it. The problem is this planet doesn't actually have any water production on it, so we're kind of having to just recycle Thee's piss, which is in this tank. In theory, I could bring pips over, naturally plant more arbor trees, and then run ethanol, then process the ethanol into water, and that would make it technically self-sustaining. But that's like one of the two ways of doing it. The other one would be exporting petroleum here, and then processing the petroleum. Well, it's not even for water, for drinking. It's actually specifically for his oxygen. Yeah, bruh, that's terrible. Oh god, that's terrible. Miller Lite, bruh. But no, seriously, it's literally just for his oxygen, nothing else. All of his water intake actually comes from the sleet wheats, really. $160 kilograms. We Dupes, you have a lot more materials to bring in. Yeah, you do. You have 7.8 tons of this stuff. Come on. I just feel like we're not, like, I have way more than enough oxygen production. Somehow we're still getting oxygen moved. I'm trying to figure out where the hole is. Just to put this bluntly, he currently is, let's see, he's inhaling 26.7 grams of oxygen per second, now up to 100 grams per second. So 100 grams per second. And he's output 888 grams per second. Not the preferred option. Also, don't drink, kids. It'll ruin your liver. Yeah, no shit. I don't drink, so. You have currently excellent filtering solutions to make your pee drinkable and taste. God. I know they do it in space regularly. Like, don't get me wrong, I do understand what we're doing. We're only utilizing this water specifically for oxygen. Shiro is taking care of the excess puffs. I could probably do a polluted oxygen processing plant. But don't know. It's one of those weirder ones. Oh, we're up to 2,000 kilograms almost. I know. I know it was. It's always been that way. Like, water is automatically recycled by the water cycle. And it's like, yeah, it's always been a thing. Is it a good idea? No. Is it something that we actually do because that's how the world works? Yes. Yes. Yes, they did. Because the water that we're still using today even comes from back then. Technically, pure water is actually perfectly safe. It just tastes like nothing, and it doesn't actually taste good. That's the weird thing. Pure water, without like heavy water in it, is actually perfectly safe. It just tastes disgusting. Because it's like, your taste buds will pretty much reject it even though it's completely safe. That's why whenever desalination plants, when they finish processing water, they actively have to put minerals back into it, because if anyone actually tastes it, it's just god-awful. Like, ugh. Like, your brain can't comprehend pure water with no impurities. Like, at all. And your taste buds will hate you. And then obviously you've got, what, heavy water and... what was the other one? Deuterium. I forget what the other one's called. The other kind of water that can be processed from heavy water. Both of which are actually dangerous for you because they're technically radioactive. So... well, in the basic sense. Because they have an extra neutron. Or not neutron, but was neutron? Heavy water was H3O2. Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I think I've only ever had pure water once, and that was in a chem lab. It just runs, just thumbs up and runs off. But yeah, it does not taste good. Or like it needs that hint of a little bit of iron. Like, when your brain doesn't taste freaking dirt in the water, it's like, ugh! Like, most of the Earth's crust is, you know, iron rich, so your brain just goes, ah, yes, no iron in it. Ugh! What is this? Like, god awful. Ew. Hey, mallow seeds. I think that's the first time we've printed them. Yeah, I think that might actually be the first time we printed them. True. I mean, it doesn't do anything negative to you. It's just standardized water. It just doesn't... Your body will still send nutrients through the water source anyway as it goes through your blood, so it doesn't really do anything. Well, yeah, your body already separates out minerals anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Let's see. Turner with tidying, decorating, rock fans, Chevy Jester pacifist. Meh. Not terrible, but not great. Nisbet supplying, bedside manor, iron gut digging. Not so good. Yeah, if it's salt water, you're fucked. Don't do that. And yes. And then a wren with supplying, grease monkey, kitchen menace, small bladder, bottomless stomach. Nope, we're taking the mallow seeds. Why not? Soon I'll be able to oxygenate this entire area. You can see there's oxygen here. It's just in extremely low quantity amounts because we've been filtering everything else up. Temperature check 186, 132. Draining our power considerably, but it should be okay for a little bit longer. Let me go check on Stella real quick. Oh, they're done. Okay, Stella change targets. Boop. I'll be on their way back. So the best way of dealing with salt water is using electrolysis. The problem is that they did try doing filters. Filters are really, really, really bad. Mostly because the pain in the ass of dealing with the actual salt, as it has to be processed 3 times when using a filter. It only has to be processed twice with a desalinator. A desalinator utilizes electrolysis to break down the salt water and extract the salt directly. The problem with it, though, is the salt that is generated from it is a little bit not safe until you process it again. So it's kind of one of those, it's got issues. Electrolysis does actually work very, very well. It's just the fact that you really have to deal with toxic cleanup of the excess salt. And we don't really have a place to put that much salt. Because I remember for every like 4 tons of salt water, it's what, like 1.3 tons of salt? Or was it 1.6? I cannot remember for the life of me. I remember seeing a thing on how it's made on that one, and it was kind of nutty. Like, that is a nightmare to clean up. Because it's just like, oh yes, it's all toxic, technically speaking. It can't be around any living being, mostly because it drains hydrogen and oxygen, all water vapors, from the air, and it can even cause breakdown of the actual water vapor, which is not good. Yeah, you can't exactly dump it back in the ocean. And if you ended up breaking it down, you'd accidentally end up creating chlorine gas. So, yeah, that would be really bad. Like, if you leave it alone, and you just store it out in the open, it can end up processing itself into chlorine gas. And, yeah, in games, chlorine, like, for here, it's perfectly fine. For an average human being, What, 3 grams of this will kill you? Dupe could just walk in here and their eyes just burn for a little bit. Human touches it, dead. Yeah, takes huge breath. That's the good stuff. Dead. It's like, yeah, no. That's why it has to be processed a second time, so that way it can be extracted without actually instantly creating an actual green gas cloud. It'd be very bad if that is left alone. Like, exceedingly so. I would not recommend. Also, I'm pretty sure OSHA would show up, and FEMA and a bunch of other people. It would be very, very bad. Okay, 32 kilograms. Good. I think we're in stable ranges now. Oh, I'm so close. So close to converting all of the steam into water again. And then I gotta do the rest of it, piece by piece, while still trying to cool this down a little bit. For reference, this is, yeah, 628 kilograms of steam. Over here is 31 kilograms. Right now, we have not great viable ways of extracting fresh water from saltwater without creating a lot of waste. Yep. I mean, technically speaking, you could process them. Not too big of an issue that it couldn't be dealt with. It's just that monetarily, it's also not really worth it to large-scale desalinate anything yet. It's getting closer, but it's not there yet. The tech isn't there. Now, if it does become one of the last sources where we can process water, then it becomes infinitely more useful, and then people will just not care about the waste and probably dump it out in the desert. And then process it there. Oh god. Yeah, chlorine gas chamber challenge. Please, no. 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 God, no. Gold is a byproduct. The US government don't want it. Pretty much. Yeah, none of that, please. None of that, Okami. For the love of all that is holy, do not do that. You are not a duplicate. You cannot survive in this. Duplicates are made of genetic ooze. They don't even technically have certain organs. Do not go into one of these things. Technically, this is an isolated chamber that only a duplicate with a suit I'm even allowing to go in there. Otherwise, they're not allowed in that room. Ever. Yeah, I need to shoot water over here. I think it's time that we do it. It's disconnected, right? How much extra water do we even have in the pipe right now? Quite a bit, actually. Crazy thing is, a lot of these things were tested by people, by the scientists themselves, to discover some of these gases. Yep. Yeah, they did. Many sacrifices were made along the way. Many a injury was also made along the way through the process of science. Oh, the whole crew is alive. I haven't lost a dupe since 2017, dude. Like, every single duplicate has survived all the way. Bucket's also completely insane at this point. Like, It's nuts. But yeah, we don't lose dupes here. We come close, mostly because of bugs, issues, and other glitches that have happened over the years. We've never lost a dupe since the first base in 2017 when Slime Lung was actually deadly. We cleaned out the Slime Lung, but then one of my dupes got sick anyway, and then they ended up perishing. Because there was no way to actually cure them once they got sick back then. Like, I think 4 updates later, it was like 5 months after that, then they finally added a cure to Slime Lung, and then they just made Slime Lung non-lethal. But then they introduced zombie spores, which is why we don't fucking touch that stuff. Yeah, I know there was a guy who accidentally stuck his head in a particle accelerator. It's still surprising he lived. He had a burn hole through his freaking forehead, and it's just like, no, he lived. Don't ask how. I don't know. He got very lucky. And technically, I do have a particle accelerator in here. My dupes have been shot by it multiple times because they kept making mistakes. Wasn't my fault. They just kind of kept doing it. But yeah, I make it my objective to never lose a dupe. If I do lose a dupe in the future, you guys will definitely know because I will put a little RIP symbol and then put their name and when they went down and which base they went down in the actual channel description here. Like, trust me, it's very rare to lose a dupe when you know what you're doing in Auction Not Included. It can still happen. Because, again, glitches can happen, mistakes can happen, and dupes can make massive fuck-ups. As long as you keep your eye on them and you micromanage them enough, they'll all make it through. Turn it off for a bit. Should probably actually add an outlet pipe. Still need to add more tanks, but we're out of steel. At least here anyway. I do need to send more steel over here. Have you hit full satisfaction? Yes, you have. Okay. Let me do power wire. Snap that. I might do clean that up. Actually, I could probably just do that one. Well, even with the nuclear reactor, the reason that my nuclear reactor is so far away from my base is just in case it does go off. Because nuclear reactor can't break neutronium. Neutronium is invincible. We actually have a plug here of pure neutronium, and I did finally fix it. If you end up watching the earlier episodes, once I got my nuclear reactor online, neutronium wasn't functioning normally. I did report it on the forums. A bunch of other people started testing it, and nuclear radiation from a nuclear reactor and from the actual nuclear waste made neutronium magnify the nuclear radiation, which is why you see this giant plastic plug here. We actually had a beam of radiation that was normally 14,000 rads here. It was pushing about 10 in a beam about yay big. All the way up. So eventually they finally fixed it more recently, and it was like 2 patches ago. This neutronium plug finally works. So even if this was to go off, the base up this way is completely safe. This wall will absolutely get annihilated, and these steam turbines would get destroyed. But everything else would be safe. And then we could just come in and clean it up if necessary. No. So the background of this area, this used to be the core of my planet. So the thing is if I turn on the heat sensor, this used to be magma. I have removed all of the magma. We slowly cooled it down into igneous, and then we literally cooled it all down to a point where we could extract it as material, and then we put in the nuclear reactor in the core of the planet. So if you were to visualize this into a ball, this thing is sitting in the middle of our entire asteroid. And everything is built around it. And all of its processing units and everything else is on its side. Over here, I'm eventually going to freeze this out so that way the bees can come down here and then they can just exist here. But this used to be the core. As you can see, there's still a bit of the background and yeah. Like all of this terrain is core. Things for the sake of science that there's like a 0% chance they'll come out unscathed. They're not dead. They're either crazy or suicidal. And believing people do that kind of thing to forward science. Some people are absolutely willing to do it. Like, there are people out there that, in the past and even today, that have done absolutely batshit insane things in the name of science. And the sad part is a lot of them actually do utilize regular, like, physics and other stuff. And then just go, fuck it, let's do it. And it's like, oh god. That too. That's also been a thing. Looking at you, Russia. Also in the field of biophysics and a bunch of other stuff as well. Like, yeah, there's some pretty nasty stuff that's been done. Yeah, that too. I mean, I still got to give props to oh crap, what was that one scientist's name? There was a doctor who ended up driving a catheter into his own heart from his shoulder, which is actually the technique that's used to save people who are in cardiac arrest. But he did it all, like, while he was completely healthy, and no one believed that it would work. And he didn't even get credit for technically doing that until like 14 years later, and then they found out, like, wait, this is how you can save people who are having heart attacks. And then, you know, he got his Nobel Prize, and it was just like, his speech was just him going, fuck you. Like, it took you this long to finally acknowledge that this works. You could have saved thousands of lives. Fuck you. And then he got off the stage. That's pretty much the best way to put it. It gave everyone else the middle finger and was like, I told you. So now fuck off. Like, that man was crazy. An absolute Chad, but absolutely crazy. And I always forget his name. That's why there's just a handful of scientists versus common civilians. Requires being smart, but then you have to... The daring scientist willing to push it further, yeah, pretty much. Others for the better and sometimes for the worst. I need to remember that guy's name. I always forget it. It's just like, there's some batshit crazy scientists in the past / doctors who have done things that have literally revolutionized science and medicine and have saved millions of lives. But they did it in such an, like, this is like the only way in our current technology, thus it must be done. And it's like, oh my god. Yes, that too. Every astronaut is. Oh yeah, a lot of ideas in science itself has always been created from mistakes. You try doing something and then you end up creating something else from said objective. There's not enough iron. Dupes, bring me the iron. We're gonna get the heck off this rock. Yeah, exactly. I need to take this iron back, and I'm getting sick and tired of my Dupes taking forever to do it. I know there's only 2 of them, but we really got to get the ball rolling on that. So screw it. Now, I do need... I've been thinking about this for a while, but I do need to add a filter gate. Yeah, I need a filter gate made out of steel over here. I need that, like, now. Mostly because I need this, when we're vacating water into space, I need that to be last in the like order because this needs to run first. I need to ship water over to the other planet. And we have so much excess water, it's kind of dumb to, like, I can't even process all of it yet. At least effectively, anyway. I still gotta get rid of the steam in here. Still debating about how I'm gonna pull that off, because we're already venting from the nuclear reactor, and this is all excess water that's not even processed. Vented because we have too much of it. I'm almost thinking that we just vent this directly into space as well. Oh. Kellen into. What? Where? Oh no. I think the resin in the pipe got so cold it actually popped out of the pipe. Ah, crap. That's funny. I'm born so long ago, Genius like him would push us way further today. Yeah, pretty much. I don't know if he would get as much recognition today as he would have back then. When we even discovered electricity in the first place, although flying a kite in electrical stream seems like a good idea, bad idea moment. Yeah, pretty much. Well, he did have, I mean, again, Benjamin Franklin did have an actual basic understanding of how electricity possibly worked. Oh well. When we come back to this planet, I will have to clean that up. For right now, it's just going to have to stay there. Technically, all I have to do is warm up the resin, and it will just turn back into a fluid. So that's not a big deal. Oh, it is going to pour all over the floor when I do that. Probably just want to lower this to 1 tile of piping. And it should prevent that. That, and also, I really have to get this thing steamed. We're getting closer. We're just not there yet. Yeah. Just inputting in heat into here, so eventually that will steam off. It's going to take a while. Meteorite hell is perfectly fine. Thankfully, we do have a poke shell running around, so that'll be fine. Take the camera back over here so I can eye on it. Mr. Ball ending. Otherwise, I'm actually starting to fill a tank. Nope, not yet. Information that they made, geniuses, has been made common knowledge. Yep. Yep. Okay, it's 45 degrees. We've got 8.6 tons. You know what? Gene, get on food. Let's get you home. Begin launch sequence. He's also returning back into the base, so they'll be fine. Now, the bigger question, are we going to melt anything? That's perfectly safe. I am surprised the plastic ladders have survived. Yep. Yeah, they were. I am very surprised that did not melt. It is plastic in space, so it doesn't actually have that much temperature transfer, but that is actually kind of impressive. I was totally expecting it to go poof. But I can just dismantle all of these and then rebuild them, and the temperature's set, so it's not a big deal. Yeah, Thea, we definitely need to improve your water production. Let that thing run. Just empty the entire tank. Don't build that steel. We can just use copper ore. That'll be fine. I do need to drain this thing at some point. Got a bunch of brine ice in it that just got in the way. I'll have to do it like this. Yeah, that's probably the only way to safely drain this thing and seal it back up. This is going to suck. Friday. Yeah. Yeah, we knew about electricity a long time ago. That's what I mean. Like actually discovering electricity itself and how it functioned. That was much more into his experiment. But for the most part, like we knew about electricity, we just didn't fully grasp what it could actually like do. That's why I said that he did have a fundamental understanding of it, as people as a whole did, because lightning was a thing, and lightning still scared the living shit out of all of us. Because it's like, ah yes, we're tiny humans living in a wooden house, randomly bursts into flames. What happened? Very angry sky god, that kind of thing. And it's like, pretty much. I know, buddy. I need to back away immediately. Possibly put on a suit. Okay, let me put him in a suit just in case. I don't want him getting scolded. Thea, where are you? I know he's trapped, it's fine. Damn, I know he's trapped. I purposely put him in here. Okay, that is now safe. A mop. As long as this water doesn't break, we are good. The lights have a current flowing out from them is a relaxing experience to interact with. I could see that for some people. Yeah, that's the ones I was thinking that you were talking about. Okay. Can we mop you? Yes, we can. Good. So that's all nice and safe now. Right, Thea, that I gotta make you do all the work. Sorry, Dave, but I really do need you to clean that up, bud. There we go. Also looks like the pressure is falling. The water is still too cold. No, you're dormant. What are you? Damn it, they're all dormant. Land vortex fountains, among other gadgets we built. Oh, that's fair. That's actually quite fair. Avalanches are a very interesting concept. Let's leave just thermal dynamics. Okay, so Thebe will live another day. That's all that matters. I really gotta figure out how we're gonna get his water source, because I feel like we might want to just switch on over to pips. I feel like the puffs have actually been overproducing. Like, we've been getting more and more puffs in each of my puff farms, and I'm kind of like, I know that they're doing some more tweaks to puffs soon, but it does feel a little weird. Oops, you went back in the door, didn't you? There you go, Thee. I do need to get this thing online. I need to put chlorine in here. A little bit of chlorine and a bunch of hydrogen, and we can shove some Dracos in. Hey, you actually moved the ice. Thank you, Thee. You actually moving the rest of it? I think he is. Huh. Finally got around to it. Good. Good, good, good. I know it's cold. Fine, buddy. If it becomes daytime, everything will be kicking back on. His base literally runs on a thread hold bear for actual solar. Again, at a little bit more as long as he runs on the wheel. That's all that matters. Now, to deal with the phosphorus problem. I think we're just going to crush the excess hydrogen in here and then worry about it later. If we can just crush it with the phosphorus and then collect the phosphorus here, we should be fine. Because I can just add a, that one. Nope. I think it's right behind here. I could probably just add a temperature shift plate and then connect it to the phosphorus, and then it'll freeze out in a couple seconds. We only have to get it to 44 degrees, and it will instantaneously solidify with no loss. Oh, don't say that. You could definitely learn the math if you put in the time. Even I only know the basic rudimentaries of it. You know what? Yeah. And I need to disconnect that. Eventually I will need to install this. We just don't have the steel. As you can see, we've... Yeah. Like, congratulations! Steel. Doop, doop, out. Now we'll be lead. I only have enough for two. Crap. But I do need to go to here, here, and... Yep. Building loop can go through there, that's fine. The rest of that, yeah. Wanted to die just doing algebra as it is, and the concept of teleportation is freaking terrifying. Oh yeah, absolutely. I would never do it. I would never use a teleporter. Like, I don't care how useful it is or what distance it is. I would never do it. Hydrophobic, doctoring, starry candy. Gourmet, Doctor. And we'll just take the Sweetles. It'll be fine. Yeah, no, I would never use a teleporter. I rarely use the teleporter here. I'll send materials through, but I don't send dupes. Like you only send what is initially needed to get the base started, and then it's like, okay, so those dupes that went through, I'm sorry, but you're, well, yeah. just for reference, the teleporter transmitter does actually kill you. So, like, and let me see if I can find it in the codex here. Not rooms. Story traits? No. Maybe? I think it was the tips button. Where is it? Scheduling. Da, 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 da. Where was the teleporter? Duplicate teleportation. Here it is. My duplicates have discovered a strange new device that appears to be a remnant of a previous gravitas facility. On activating the device, my duplicate was scanned by an unknown, highly technological device, and then subsequently detected a massive information transfer. Remarkably, my duplicate has now reappeared in a remote location on a completely different world. I now have access to another abandoned gravitas facility on a neighboring asteroid. Further analysis will be required to understanding this matter, but in the meantime, I'll have to be vigilant in keeping track of both my colonies. And then we can find the other one. Thing called exactly transmitter. Let's see, where is the log? It'd be in the logs. Duplicate teleportation. That's that one. Shattered planet. I still don't know how I get this one because I haven't actually ever had a dupe die. I think it's just automatically in the logs once you get a boot message. Index. I don't know. One of these things that has the information. Do not attempt to defrost, yeah. Let's see. There's notes. No. One of the journals. I got soup. God damn it! I'm gonna fuck your name up so badly. I'm sorry. Hello, Raiders. But Wakatsubaki, I think I got it. And other people, welcome. And Waki Raid, yes. Welcome, welcome. Yes, I was looking for the old log from the duplicate teleportation thing. Yeah, close enough. I'll get it eventually. Yes, seriously. Welcome. Waki Subaki. Got it. No space definitely messed with my head for a second. It doesn't help that I'm looking through old logs from like 1,000 cycles ago. Oh yes, welcome to the base. Gotcha, gotcha. So just Waki Subaki. Got it. Oh, and I think my dupe has returned. Yeah. Oh, yes, I will go look through the logs later. Oh, yes, welcome, Raiders. And say hello to a 2,645 cycle base. About 860 hours. That number is way off. If you count all of the episodes on YouTube, which are not sped up, it's about 800. And we just finished our petroleum boiler last time. So that is complete. I do need to keep draining this and also add more tanks. So I need to be sending more steel over here. Yeah, I know. I will. I just need to change targets here. Actually, no. I think I'm on B-Talon, aren't I? Yes, I am. Extra materials, steel. You really want me to click this button, don't you? Let's hope it's the PIP balloon. I do know that the next update will actually allow us to dismantle duplicates. So that way we can actually go for the things that we want. Ooh! Farewell at sunrise. It's the puffs. Neat. And basic yellow shoes. There's a quality of life update. If you've ever played a Cly game, basic purple shirt, you can basically dismantle duplicates of what you get from your supply closet into thread. You can then use that thread to make any of the actual items inside of the supply closet. We don't have it yet, but it's coming with the next patch. If you've ever played Don't Starve or Don't Starve Together, you get the same kind of drops just like this for cosmetics. And then, as I said, you can dismantle them into thread, and each item has their own thread values based on the rarity, and then you can actually craft them into an item. It's in the betas right now. So if you boot up Auction Not Included on Steam, you can load up the beta and you got it. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean duplicants. I meant duplicates. Which is what I did say, but I know it sounds pretty close to each other. Also, welcome, Dragonsmith. Yes, I will finally be able to clean up all of the extra bright diagonal oranges that I have. The big one that I still have not gotten... Not you. Where is it? There it is. This is the one that I want. I need the pips. It's the only one I haven't been able to get my hands on. And it's frustrating because I have 2 poke shells now. We're currently using the glossy glees for my balloon artists. But yes, this is the one. That one right there. And that one. But yes, hopefully that one will, the update will go through no problem. They're also changing... Let me turn this going back on. But they're finally fixing the conveyor loader. When the update hits, the conveyor loader will no longer be classed as an industrial piece of machinery, so you can finally put them inside of your mess hall. And also nature reserves, recreation rooms, stables, pretty much everything. You can already do it in the stable, but yeah. I no longer have to do weird door machinations to be able to get my conveyor loaders to fit. So that's a big change. Like, that's actually a huge change. Because it even works in labs, so you can technically preload items into your mission controls, your labs, and your other stuff. Which is good. It's very good. I'll be honest, that was like the big announcement for me, and then they went on and did the supply closet changes, and I was like, yes! Like, I can finally get the balloons that matter. And then my PIP Sanctuary will finally be complete. I will be honest, every single base I've ever made, I always make a PIP Sanctuary. Just something that happens in anything in ClunkyCo. And yes, the decor is almost primarily the dupe or the pips at this point. At least in here. For anyone wondering. We have a little extra, but it's... yeah. I'm very happy with that, though. The changes look really good, and I look forward to it for sure. Still gotta vent the rest of this. How's the temperatures down here? Getting there. This should start turning to water soon, so we won't have to worry about this section anymore. Then I need to move the cooling over here and keep going there. How do I sustain them? This many pips, they literally are self-sustaining off of the arbor trees. You only need 4 for this mini. For reference, I do not actually trim these, and this allows the pips to just survive off of this. For the other ones, I do have... Oh, goddamn you. Quantum tunneling crabs again. Let me guess. 60? Yep. I hate this. So they fixed the bug, and it's back again. Annoying. Proto, get over there. First of all, I do have multiple different pip ranges. All of which is just for sustainable dirt. I don't even have to think about it with these guys. Currently, we are at 413.6 tons of dirt, and we're barely consuming it. But Proto keeps getting attacked because we have quantum tunneling crabs. What I mean by quantum tunneling crabs is poke shells can interact when you're not looking at your planet with any dupe that's on a rock crusher, virtual planetarium, or the mutant seed identifier. All 3 of those devices seem to be on the same layer as the critter layer when the planet is technically quote-unquote compressed. When you're not looking at it, Unity runs it in the background, so everything is calculated on their own layers. So that way the amount of data that is being transferred doesn't overload the engine. Problem with that is yeah. If your dupe's working on a botanical analyzer and you're not looking at the planet or a rock crusher, your crabs can easily hit them. Same thing with your bees. I have lost so many swarms of radioactive bees, it has driven me insane at this point. Like, I need these for enriched uranium. Please stop killing all of my bees, dupes. And the problem is they're just existing. My dupes are doing their thing, and then they randomly just get stabbed through the floor by like 40 plus tiles. It is annoying. It's just an issue with Unity, and Cly has tried to fix it multiple times. Yeah. Sucks, but there's really nothing I can do. I was really hoping that this bug was fixed, because the last 4 episodes we didn't have a single incident, and then today we've had 2 already. And I'm like, not my tubes, not again. Damn it. There's not much I can do on that front. I just gotta wait for them to fix it again. On the side note, we are up to 91,496 rads per cycle, though. So my nuclear fuel is looking pretty good. I still want to have more. I do want to break 1 million before we finish this playthrough. I really doubt we will. We only have a couple achievements really left. Mostly it's Mine the Gap. Mine the Gap's the big one that's going to be taking a while. Also, let's get the rocket refueled real quick. As of current, I think we're sending about... It's about 4,000 rad bolts per cycle. I think it's a little over that. It's like 4,400? No, 4,000... No, it can probably be averaged down a little bit. It's like 4,350 or something. Pretty much an entire rad bolt engine in a single cycle is now doable. Have I ever built a rocket engine above the dupe area? Yes. Yes, I have. The only thing that you need to remember about a rocket is that you only have to worry about 9 tiles. If you have something in this range, it's going to get torched. If it's outside this range, it's fine. Like if I come over here to Flippallen, the current area that I do have to worry about is actually over here. I think there's still radioactive germs there from launches. Oh, nope, it's been cleaned up. But this actually is within range to irradiate the hell out of all of this. And Butalin... Yeah, the rocket's literally right over their areas. But I don't really have to worry about it because even if this melts, I mean, it's just coal. Like, I'm going to end up adding a shielding here, but none of this down here will melt because it's all still in space and it's actually completely shielded. So you don't really have to worry about it. Just make sure to remember that you always have to build with 9 tiles in mind. To be this tile, yeah. So this is your safe range. The other issue is the exhaust does go out this far. So it's a 5x5 from the center point, and then a 3x9 for the center 3. And that's the entire range of your rocket exhaust. If you're using nuclear, your main issue is going to be the 3x9 because this is where the radioactive contaminants come from. And then the heat is also generated within this bracket. It's actually probably easier to see if I can get Stella to launch again here shortly. This also applies for all other rockets. All rockets have the same exhaust pattern, so 3x9. If I remember, hydrogen rocket's the only one that you really have to be careful about, though. If you're playing the base game, you have to be a little bit more careful with it. If you're playing the DLC specifically, you will probably want to use a refined carbon shield. If you've never made one of these before, what you do is, actually this is the perfect example, use storage bins, 200 kilograms, coal. You can technically, probably just show you here, disable that, boom, copy settings. All you do, storage bin, doesn't matter material, put the coal down, dismantle all the storage bins, and then remove the igneous rock. When this gets warm enough due to rocket launches, this will form into refined carbon. I believe refined carbon was 276.9. So add 3 degrees, so 279.9 for state changing. When that happens, what happens is that you end up getting this little shield of refined carbon. If you're working with hydrogen rockets, this is a mandatory. Main reason being is this is the only material in the game that can be created quickly that can survive the hydrogen rockets. In base game, you can kind of get away with it because you can put the rockets into a rocket silo with steam. If you have over 50 kilograms of steam, the steam will absorb the heat from the hydrogen rocket, and it will actually self-replicate itself, so it's not a problem. If you're doing DLC, on the other hand, the hydrogen rocket does not actually output steam when launching. It technically does, but it's not really. Like, it barely puts out like a tenth of its actual launch fuel, unlike in base game. And what happens is that it is around 3,500 degrees. 3,500 degrees is enough to melt everything, except for refined carbon. Like, steel doesn't survive that. Like, originally, when they first launched the DLC for Oxygen Not Included, the steel, when launching a hydrogen rocket in the space content, was melting. You could actually have your entire rocket just disintegrate, and then your game would crash. Because it would launch the rocket, the engine would disintegrate, the cabin would disintegrate, your dupes would fall out, and then the game would die the second one of your dupes touched the ground. Because it would just black hole itself. But the only real fix that we had was utilizing refined carbon to build a shield to reflect some of the steam back up onto the rocket to reduce the temperature. Because you actually need more thermal mass to stop your stuff from melting. Thankfully, they have fixed that. Engines no longer overheat themselves, and outside gases no longer interact with actual engines in the DLC. So you can't accidentally cause your rocket to melt. Which is good. That was terrible. I remember doing that when they first added the hydrogen rockets in testing, and it literally just disintegrated the game. It was bad. It's like, what happened? The hydrogen rocket was so powerful that its own engine materials disintegrated. It's like, oh. Yeah, I know. Yay, non-melting rockets. Technically, you can still melt the rockets, and it's actually one of the most important things that you can do at the end game is melting the interior. But you can't melt the exterior. Also, don't accidentally melt these. If you are going to make a space station, which is a thing you can do in Oxygen Not Included, when you're heating up the steel here, and possibly even the diamond here, do not accidentally melt one of the gas-fairing input or the output ports. Or the liquids. If you melt any of these, you're going to have a bad time because you're going to brick your save. So, we are going to end up doing an actual melted space station. That is part of the plan. When I come back here, I will actually fully get this set up, and we will melt this. This is also liquid tungsten. Right now, it is just the ambient temperature, but we will be setting up what's called a 1-2 pump, and we will be actually using liquid tungsten as a coolant into a metal refinery. And then we will use that liquid tungsten to slowly warm up the entire environment inside of the rocket. So as of right now, though, I definitely need to come back here and then set up the 1-2 pump, which means that I will have to excavate all of this and then vacuum it all out, set up the 1-2 pump down here, and we will be utilizing petroleum with tungsten. Yes. Yeah, you can totally melt the walls inside of a rocket utilizing temperature exchange with the steel, and this will melt. That's how you build a space station. It takes an exuberant amount of work. You can do it in a cheeky way using liquid uranium. That also works. Liquid steel also technically can work. I would normally not recommend liquid steel because you are working with steel, but you can totally do that. If you're going to do liquid steel, though, make sure you have tungsten piping. Tungsten radiant pipes can handle up to 3,421 degrees, and the steel wall of your rocket can only handle 2,426.9. So everything has to be made out of tungsten. Tungsten or ceramic. If you're doing insulation, ceramic. If you're doing radiant pipes, it has to be made out of tungsten. And that's how you melt interiors of rockets. That also gives you access to the entire exterior here. So, yes, that is exactly what I'm going to do. But the main thing is we are going to end up building the space station. That's the final goal of my entire playthroughs. Secondary final goal is getting a hot tub working on every planet, which is now infinitely easier. So, originally, getting chlorine, aka bleach stone, everywhere on every planet to have a working hot tub on every planet is a pain in the ass. With the last update, they finally added a way of generating bleach stone, which makes my life so much easier. The bleach stone hopper is now actually a thing, so doing the hot tubs using using interstellar launch pads to send chlorine everywhere is no longer a complete need. I can actually just do it using the hoppers, which is infinitely easier. I'm very glad for that one. Thank you, Cly. You made my life infinitely easier, because I no longer have to constantly pay attention to hot tubs. Also, has that not hit the right temperature yet? Oh no, it's actually below the threshold. That has always been my goal, is to have a hot tub for every duplicate, practically. But obviously there is not enough bleach stone for that in the entire game. Even if you're fully utilizing every chlorine vent in the game to do it, it's really not feasibly possible to do one hot tub per dupe. So I just ended up always settling for one hot tub per planet. It's still a pain in the ass. Like, I'm no joke, probably one of the hardest things you can do, not included, is have a fully functioning 24/7 hot tub on every planet. Not a fun experience. It is doable. It is absolutely doable. And every chlorine vent really does matter. So, every time I find one of these, I have to tap it. There's just no getting around it. And we also have the one over here, which, well, I will obviously have to make more squeaky puffs. But yes, that's one of my major things that I always put as a challenge for myself in every Oxygen Not Included playthrough is make a space station for the defrosted dupe and put a hot tub on every planet. Those are the two things that I do outside of the actual achievement. I also need to get rid of the crude oil in here. Well, once this thing hits dormancy. We had a small leakage due to hypercompression over here in the corner. Also, how did I get... How are you here? Just noticed this. I was like, wait, why do I see phosphorus here? Okay, weird. No idea how that got there. Must have been phosphate in there. Well, what I'm going to do is I will make a time lapse of every single save that we have in this playthrough, and I'm going to put my actual world save up on the final YouTube video and also the time lapse video. So all you guys will be able to access that from my Google Drive. I'm debating if I should put it in Dropbox, but I'm like, screw it, I'll just make it private Google Drive and that should work out just fine. I have 150 or yeah, 153 episodes worth of time lapse to make. So you guys are definitely in for a treat. Those on YouTube. I mean, it's 800 hours of work. Over 800 hours of work. I really wish this thing would keep track, but it just doesn't. Like, that's actually the really sad part. As the game, you know, as Oxygen Not Included progresses, your game does slow down, and then the actual time played according to in-game slows down because, well, your cycles are taking longer, everything else is slowed down, UPS is a little bit slower, and that kind of thing always just happens. But it's like, yeah, we're well over 800 hours on YouTube for all the episodes. Yeah, I know. I know, right? The good news is, I have all of it. So it's like, don't worry about it. I have enough that I can easily do a time lapse through the entire thing. I also have all the saves, so I can always just time lapse directly from each independent save from each episode of when we started to when we ended. As all of those are saved. I also made backups, I think last month, so we're good on up until like episode 139. Or no, 142. Yeah. In case anything goes wrong. Okay, good. Getting lots of Pufflet Princes. Already got our one in there. Let's see. How much extra steel? Dude, I would be so pissed if that happened. Don't even joke about that, please. That would destroy me, okay? If that actually happened, holy shit, I would be pissed. Like, please don't joke about that one. Just don't. Like, no stop, that would actually destroy me. If that happens. Oh man. If I lost all of the footage or even the saves, I would be so pissed. I mean, I have backups on externals and on my other computers, so, and my render machine. So it's one of those, like, I have redundancies. God, that would destroy me. Like, all the work lost. That would be really bad. So let's hope that never happens. Ever. But yeah, no, seriously, that would be devastating. Just thinking about that. Yeah, no. I'm good. I don't need that. I really don't. Also, I should be able to run this now. Now let's check our rails here. And make sure it doesn't teleport. Good. Temperatures are falling. Yeah, I know. I know. They are all on YouTube. Every single bit from the very start of this base is on YouTube. I actually originally asked my subscribers and followers, like way back, and again, we're almost at 2 years here, if they wanted edited episodes of Oxygen Not Included from these VODs, technically, or if they wanted unedited. And then everyone ended up saying unedited, so... You guys have the entire base, from start to finish. Every mistake, every fix, Every explanation, all on YouTube. I have thought about doing a, not shorts, but like an actual, like maybe 5-minute playlist of different constructions that you can do in Action Not Included. And what their purpose is, and just, I don't know, maybe flowchart them. Because I do get asked a lot of questions here on Twitch about Action Not Included when it comes down to certain builds and other stuff, and I'm like, I should probably just build like a cheat sheets for everyone so I could just hand them like, here's a 5-minute video on how to do this. It's like, oh, you want to learn how to tame a steam geyser? Boom, there you go. Or in this case, you want to know how to do proper phosphorus? There you go. Roger that, Okami. You have a good one. And again, thanks for stopping by, dude. Oh, Frey, you finally got to Fontaine. Yeah, that happens. That happens. I'm not being arrested for once. I am being arrested. Damn it! Every time. Yeah, if we didn't spend so much extra time on Trove, I would have gotten some Genshin in, but I felt that Trove was much more worth it. At least for now. I know tomorrow we're definitely going to be doing some more Action Not Included first. Ah, it's not getting warm enough. We need to up that. 324. Need to go for, let's see, maybe 260. Nope, it's still not warm enough. 290. Ah, I got you, Booples. Well, as long as you had fun, that's what matters. Oh! Booples, thank you for the follow. And again, welcome. Let's see. Pretty sure I'm going to need to turn off the petroleum boiler for a bit. I do need to continue analysis. Let me higher priority that. That's always good. I turn this off for a bit. We're not going to have any more magma to work with for a bit, and that is a problem. Now let's leave the system off for now. Pretty sure we can drain out all the heat here and then switch the system off over here as well. Let me turn that off for now. Nope. Neo, what are you at? 2,281 calories-ish. Yeah, it'll be fine. Okay, so we should be able to get the volcano nice and sorted. Phosphorite. Yeah, we drained all the temperature out of it. I'm wondering, we are transferring lava into the temperature from the lava into 2 window tiles. And then both of those are directly connected and controlled by these door locks. When the door is open, there is no temperature transfer. When the door shuts, there is temperature transfer. I really wish we had a better gradient on this, but the best way to put it is this is 420 and this is 403. Well, it's normally set for 403, but that's just the liquid inside. Over here, we've got hydrogen and phosphorus. Phosphorite. We're slowly working our way through getting this all nice and processed into true phosphorus, which is refined phosphorus. And you use refined phosphorus. Go over to the bow. As I drip all this. Head over to my lab real quick. You can utilize pure phosphorus in overclocking geysers. It does increase the heat, but it dramatically improves the amount of material that comes out. To be honest, I would probably do it on gold volcanoes. Possibly hydrogen. Definitely tungsten, iron. Maybe natural gas. Kind of a 50-50 on natural gas. It's not too dangerous to do it on it. And it's kind of free anyway. So why is the game chugging randomly? Switch over to Rudabo and the game's like, oh, we don't like Rudabo. Like, why? Sure, it's a big planet, but come on. Hey, Giovanni. Welcome back. We fixed up the phosphorus producer. The petroleum boiler is completed. Currently, we're identifying the volcano. Minor tweaks here and there. Running over water. Hopefully soon. I need to get my other rocket actually prepared. Glad that Gene's back. But, pretty sure I need to send Stella over here. Nope, that one's still 27 days. No, we need to send her to the organic mass field. That's what I need to do. I could probably send Gene back over to the Fallen here and send more rovers down. Suit wearing, interior decorator, germ resistant, iron gut squeamish. This was earlier in the playthrough. I'd absolutely take this over here. Gossman researching, 7, grease monkey, squeamish. Mary farming, electrical engineer, green thumb. Oh, that's tempting. Electrical engineer is kind of a waste, but farming green thumb is always kind of a solid pick. Do we really need someone messing with that many plants? We already have so many farmers. Rudabo has nobody on it right now. We already have 2 farmers here who are also ranchers. Completely self-sustaining at this point. I'm almost tempted to bring them in here, but they can't go in this room because they're not prepared for suits. But it would help Thea out, but it would also increase our water drain. Air Sparkle Streaker 2. Yeah. You know what? Screw it. We'll bring him in with Thea, and then we'll just start importing water. I originally built this base only for 1 dupe to begin with, but it definitely has more than enough food production to handle like 6. So Yeah, screw it. Why not? Let's see here. Who to pick? Who to pick? You could either do Moisty, Mike. Could do Booples. So literally, like, we can pick from anybody from the follower list. And I haven't already picked. Alright, screw it. I'll give it to Moist. Moisty Man, welcome to the base. And you get the one next to the bathrooms. And that one. Now the only thing is, I need to make sure you don't accidentally go out into space. That would be bad. You're not prepared. You are absolutely not prepared for this. Make sure you can't go through there. Go back into the base. I will allow you to go through the suit, but I doubt you're going to be able to do anything there. At least with your current skill level. Let me go over here to Moist. You have electrical engineering, which is always good. We're going to grab... Yeah, we'll do improved farming, give you the electrical engineer hat for your other skill. Priorities. Way over them. Life support check, toggling check, ducting minimal, rocketry low but not negative, tidying 1, cooking 0 for now. You can do decorating. I want you doing operating. 1 in farming. Growing, supplying high, digging down, and ranching. Should give you a pretty good berth of stuff to do. Also, you should probably run a manual generator to get your athletics up before we get you into suits. Because they immediately go for the phone. God damn it. It's hilarious, but also sad. Yes, we will definitely need to ship water over. I could, as duly noted, the plan is to reprocess the water that we have down here. I could just send that straight on. Pretty sure all of that is the excess ice. I don't think all of it is, though. I probably should just dump the rest of the ice in there once... Yeah, once the steam ends up fully encapsulating the entire chamber, then I'm going to dump all the excess ice that we have. This all needs to be processed anyway into regular water. I can also extract some of the extra salt from it, so that'll be nice. Yes, this should hopefully improve the amount of polluted water we're actually producing. Sorry, Neo. I was trying to get a new dupe in. I was going to disable it from earlier, but I don't know if he's going to make it. When I mean make it to the bathroom. A very high likelihood he's about to piss himself. Come on, dupe. Come on. He's got like a 50-50 chance of making it. Not good odds. Not good odds at all. I'm also debating if I should connect the power line, or sorry, the automation line from our... Oh! Hero made it. Come on, Neo. Oh, he made it. He actually made it. Oh, goodness. That's great. But yes, I was thinking I actually take this liquid pump, well, vent, and connect it to the power grid. Set it for a NOT gate for whenever it's off. Yeah, that'll definitely have to be a NOT gate at some point. This would give us a much more balanced power distribution. Do I really need to make that a steel? 50/50. That one off for now. I just make it out of gold, actually. Do we have the distance? If I cut it at the top, we should be able to do this. And I need to make it so that way it has an AND gate. Double take on this. Or, nah, we need an AND gate. That way I can actually just directly control the inputs and outputs. Construction, max priority. This will only take the dupes a couple seconds to actually get it done, so might as well just max it for now. Well, this will further balance out my petroleum. That. I don't think there's much I can do about the phosphorus. I'm assuming some phosphorite fell in here, and because the temperature got hot enough, it turned into phosphorus. Otherwise, I had liquid, like gaseous phosphorus floating around the base, and I didn't see it. It's a little weird when we have this much cooling on this side of the map. No idea how that happened. Let me check temperatures here. Yeah, I can probably do something stupid and just do that. I should be able to freeze out all the excess phosphorus that we have laying. So 9, just get around to it eventually. It's going to take a while for that to drain. Already filling. Okay, good. Need to restock that at some point. Definitely need to clean up everything eventually. That up. Yeah, I need to actually, like, properly contain these things. It's not too bad. It's just releasing a bit of steam. Most of it's going on up to space. To be honest, I was venting almost everything to space anyway, so... like, and this, the only things that matter is the small quadrants where we actually isolate stuff. That's about it. Everything else is extra. Probably turn that one off for now. Oh, 600, yeah, it should run. I just need the one on. Okay, that's running. Oh, they're almost done. I will snip this though. And remove. I know, guys. You're almost done. Also, Giovanni, I should probably check on your dupe real quick. Wait a second. sure everything else is working before I do anything. Nope, everybody's good. Please, where is the geo? Where are they? Adribola. That's pretty. Daria, Carpenter, Bunny, you are on the wheel. Athletics is 15. You're almost there. I pretty much just have you running for getting your athletics up. Main reason being is this base is all speed boosted. Reference material, metals. Everywhere that you see that's gold, that's a tile, that's all 50% speed. So pretty much the entire base is like has an extra speed boost. So the better your athletics, the faster you can get around the base, and this place is absolutely massive. Now, yeah, kind of important. Your dupe's doing good. That's what matters. Yeah. Let's go check on Fred real quick. Oh, good. They're both doing the wheel. Hooray! The fact that they start out with like 7 by default. That's pretty nutty. I approve. I definitely need to improve the water production on that planet. I'll have to think of something. Oh. How are you... Again, how is the Paku down here? Guys, get out. No. You're in there. 7 Paku. 2 tropical Paku. 2 tropical fries. And 3 Paku fries. Okay. Okay amount. Nothing insane. I just wish that my Pakus would randomly stop falling down here. I don't know how. Because I'm like, that one goes that way. Actually, I can probably wipe out one of these guys. Probably you. You're the one who needs to go. Actually, no. They're all getting really close to laying an egg. And the system will take care of it. Damn it. That'll be fine. Just gotta leave them alone for a bit. Already processed water, so that's going back into the system. That's spares. Definitely need to be processing more. Okay, that one should be good until this thing turns off. Once this battery runs out, make sure the automation is actually working. Just waiting on it. Okay, that switches, that locks. Okay, we're good. That should be able to handle the whole system. And that's all self-contained. Need to actually put these in a box, that way we stop leaking polluted water everywhere. Not really a big deal. I can reprocess the water elsewhere. It would be nice to be able to just say, screw it, we captured it, problem solved, send it off into space. I really need to send over a bunch of nuclear waste. I need to do. Start getting an actual Yeah. It's not great. Need to really improve this. Damn it. If I build it like that, it's not going to be in the range, I don't think, of the rocket. Okay, all the rockets are filled. Good. That goes there. Stella, I need you to get back to your rocket real quick. Ready? Gene, I don't really think sending another rover, like, complement is really worth the effort. 'Cause all they're going to end up doing is repairing everything. It's kind of worth it because we can utilize the rovers to go pick up all the canisters. But that's really about it. Most of it's plastic to help with the actual base building process. I think it's better just to send dupes again whenever we want to do it. We have the ability to open the doors and send everyone in, so it's not too big of a deal. Also, if we send the dupes again, I'm sending the rovers as well. But I really do think I need to I need to rebuild this rocket. And the main reason being is we gotta get mining up. Drop the mug there. Yeah, we definitely have to do mining up first. Okay, are y'all ready? Hit the button. Nope. Right out. Right out. Right out. Right out. Don't stand near the rocket. Yep. Yeah, that was gonna happen. It's like, ah, yes, mug. I will receive the mug. It's irradiated. All is fine. Only 100. Well, it'll be fine. God damn it. Why are you like this? Where? Let me remove the nose cone first. Safety's on there. Oh, I did not separate this. I need to set this for 15 seconds. Actually, probably do that for like 11. Oh, a little bit better based off of bathroom usage. When this tank gets filled, this backs up to here. Then that should activate the entire system. Water will go for 11 seconds. Then this one will immediately start doubling the space because of the excess. You have a manual override, usual. And this one just automatically does. Might want to do a manual override as well, but I don't think we need it unless I need to immediately start shipping water. Is a possibility. All of our current water tanks are full. Nuclear reactors back down to normal pressures. I think we're doing pretty good. Ooh, 125. Good. This should start turning to water soon. And then I can probably just freeze all of this down and then send it out. Like, yeah, we'll just turn it to ice and ship the ice out. Be slightly more efficient that way. That. So first things first, we need artifact capsule. And on top of that, cargo bay. And on top of that, we need a drill cone. Boom. There we go. And for marking purposes, Gene is going back to the radioactive gas cloud and then coming back. Once that's done anyway. I do need to dump off all of the you and you. Please grab that. Oops. Great. That's a lot of lime. I'm okay with that. I really need to improve my nuclear disposal system. One of the few things that absolutely must be improved upon. Slowly lowering in mass because it's all turning water. Should hopefully start freezing soon. At least turning to regular water. We'll get a vacuum most likely first and then water underneath it. And we need to set this for everything. Rocket full. Yep. Interiors. Put it there, and iron as well. That out. Oh, dang it. There. Okay, both pending moves. Let me do a higher priority to get them moving. Should be able to clean out both the rockets and then get the one launched. I need to grab more uranium. Most, if not all of my uranium is pretty much getting processed by my little E-tinies over here. 7.6 tons versus 20 tons. All solid. Ah, good. Primo and real shower. Bring it over. That's what I want to see. A lot of people are. Good. Put that fire. Good up at that point. Really nothing I can do about the that unless I unfreeze my refrigerator, which would be really dumb to do. We're not gonna do that. That's what we're holding up. And doing pretty good. Okay, we have a Paku. He's escaped. He's having trouble. I'm almost tempted to put a critter door like right here and then set it to a critter sensor in case one of them flops by. Should be able to land here and then go left. We may end up fucking up and going right. Want to see what's causing the issue here. Come on, Baku. Make it to the corner. Baku, go right. He's having a moment. Apparently one of my dupes is also having a moment. Which one of you needs to use the restroom? Oh, Primo was. Okay, we're good. One of you is gonna go make it. Yeah, no. Okay, so he's still. Very bright. Like, fall down here and go left. Right there, buddy. I don't think he can calculate. He's having a hard time calculating. I'm almost tempted to make a door that just lets them fall down here. It's very tempting. I could just cut this out, put the door in, put a critter sensor here, and put one tile like right there. Or I could just put a critter sensor here and keep both doors open. One there. Oh, actually, that wouldn't fit. No, it kind of would. I wouldn't be able to have the wheel there. But it could fit. That's very tempting. You know what? Screw it. Not you. That. And you. I'll need to move the wheel, but this is fine. Game. Plays it. Yep. And I need automation wire. Sensor. Should be buffer, actually. Hey, yes. Outputs green signal if inputted green signal, because you send green signal after. See if he falls down correctly to the right. Come on, Paku. Come on. You can do it. There you go. Now I know for a fact that I won't have any teleporting Paku, and I'll make their way down there. Come on, bud. Go to the right. We could do 8. The critter sensor's still detecting, and I'll keep that door open for 8 seconds, and then it will shut. That should stop Paku from randomly escaping. We'll need to steal it in, though. How to isolate this little chamber? Question. Probably move the transformer. And Yeah, we could do that. This is just my gem anyway. It's not that big of a deal. I just need to make sure that there is enough. I still need to connect this to space. But one thing I do need to do to improve the amount of efficiency I can do with the module, I need an open area to put a liquid lock. There I could do this one. I'm pretty sure my dupes are going to try to escape. Yeah, it should be fine. Water leakage. Okay. I needed to get this done eventually anyway, and it's like, screw it. That connected to space. Yes. Yes, it does. 76,000 tiles. Wait. And it's cleared. Wait, safe, so leak into space. Oh, jeez. Nope. Of course it did. Of course it did. Thank you, save load. Bug still exists, just so you know. And up. Got everybody. Think I got everything? Hopefully. Liquid locks, please. Being wasted. Okay. Just a heads up. Still a bug. Still happens. Rare. Does happen. Hold on. Why are you not grabbing the good stuff? Oh? I know. This one, isn't it? There we go. Like, why is my animation not kicking? Ah, yes. Right on the precipice of not wanting to work. Vern. Oh, wait. Baby. Oh no, it didn't. Oh shit, it did. Hold up. I see a problem. Bug went across planet. Motherfucker. I'm gonna have to reload from a fucking previous save, aren't I? There's too much of... I guess it's every single thing. It went across planet. Shit. I hate this thing so... Yep, it did. It went across every planet. I hate this bug. Motherfucker. Okay, hold up. Every single planet got hit with that. Let's reload back to... It should be at the beginning of this. Let's see. I want to see how bad this is. Oh, I hate when this one happens. It's when you're placing a wire or you're doing a mopping order. So the two worst ones. Because if you're placing a wire and this happens, every map is going to have like 5 billion wires everywhere. And it's going to connect all of your primary power lines. Completely bullshit. Like, that is one of the worst. And the other one obviously is a mopping order. Because every single fluid in your entire base will start being mopped, and there's nothing you can do about it. It is absolutely infuriating. It's so rare to happen, though. I think we've only ever had that happen twice now. It's just, it hits autosave at just the right moment that it can absolutely cuck your entire base. Like, we can totally fix it manually. Just I'm going to have to go through every single liquid lock, every single fluid thing, and it's going to take me like an extra day just to fix everything. So it's like, yeah, no, fuck that, reload the save. Like, seriously, it's like, oh, great, bug. The bug is back. The worst one is back. At least we didn't have the wire one. The wire one would have been even worse. Because I'd have to go through with wire tools and literally manually disconnect every single wire network. That's the one. I've had that happen like 5 times in the past. It's just like, I just gave up, I think, on the third one after that, and I just started reloading every time it happens. It's like, congratulations! You tried placing a single wire on the autosave. Now your entire base is just wires. Blueprints of wires. Everywhere. A square inch is not covered in wires. It's like, what the flying fuck happened? And it's just a bug from ONI. Like, you've got to be kidding me. But either way, let's see if this reloads at the right point, or I'll have to go back even further another day. Thankfully, we're just doing cleaning, but it's like, game? Don't you dare fucking do this stupid glitch again. Like, the entire base is just, everything is a mop order, even the stuff that you don't care about, and the stuff that you do, and the slicksters. The poor slicksters. Yeah, let's see where this puts us. I'll have to check all the mop locations and see if it's still fucked. It happened right on autosave, so it's like, this might be right at the start. I'm gonna hope it isn't. But god damn it if it is. Fuck me. Yeah, it's totally fixable if you want to put in the time for it. It's just not worth it. I always recommend just reloading saves, at least when you're dealing with this one. Like, I only reload on a bug. Like, disappearing duplicate due to rocket launch, that kind of stuff. It's like, they didn't die, they're still in the game, they just don't exist. That's when you reload the game. Or when you're doing a mopping order for a tiny area, and then the autosave decides to mop every single tile in your entire base. Oh. There it goes. Pause. Double check to make sure that mopping orders are not everywhere, because it happened again directly in autosave. Alan, we good? Random bullshit mopping going on. There. Orders way back, I think. Base, how about you guys? Everybody okay? Random glitch. I think we're okay. Yeah, it happened literally right on autosave, so thankfully reverting back to right before it definitely saved us a bit. Ooh. Game is running like shit, though. I will say that. Gotta give it a minute to catch up. The analysis is almost completed. Good, finish that. Good. Automation still good, right? Yes. Definitely gonna need to isolate that. As I said, we'll do that in another episode. We're getting pretty close to finishing for tonight, though. 37. Okay, yeah. I think we're good. We're having a power issue and way too many puffs. What's going on with that? You guys are repopulating too quickly. Oh wait, I did forget. Below. You need to be above 7. You need to be below 9. Let me get this thing set back up. I think we're gonna call it there. We'll get my Paku doors done, and they should be all good. Need to reinstall the manual generator. Shove it there. That's fine. This entire wire also needs to be done. Okay. Automation. Should be there. We need buffer gate there. Water sensor here with buffer gate for increased duration. Yeah. Sorry, Bagu. I'll have to give you a minute. You set back up. I know, full bladder. We'll deal with that. Okay. Aku properly received. I need to do this. This. Need to install a door here. And I probably need to poke a hole through that. Yeah. Information wire, ETU. That one. That needs to be built. Second. Right. You go to the bathroom. Like, how do you go to the bathroom? Bathroom's right there. Go. The Dupes can handle this. Fine. That and that. Okay. Doors in, get the information in. Boom. Boom. correctly install heavy one way. It is a possibility. Totally could. Or I could just do kind of a derpy setup with this. And connect this. That. It's derpy, but it works. This is the Exus gym anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. I wish the game did not run like crap right now. Jump to one of the other planets real quick. Oh, it's running better. Thankfully, no bugs so far. Start out. What are you doing? You're in space, kind of. You're in the airlock. What are you doing? Yeah, I know. You're in the airlock. What are you doing? You're not even one of my narcoleptics. What are you doing? The hell? Let's refuel Gene's fridge, and we can send him off on a mission. We've almost got this done. Almost. And this should hopefully stop the Paku from randomly doing things. Let's go check Gene real quick. Let's go check on the rocket. Okay, cool. Good to stations. Sure you're already locked in. Smart. Gene, you may fire when ready. There he goes. We are going to have some irradiated steel. Fine. Yeah, it's fine. Perfectly fine. No biggie. Don't count eggs. We need to do that. Water. Okay. Come on, Dupes. I've almost got it. Almost. There we go. That stopped leaking. Do those up. Side. Do a bunch of 9 priorities on this. There you go. Okay. Let's see here. What do we got for the final print? Old amalgam, algae, farming 8, Anemic. Nope. Flatulent and slow learner. Nope. I am gonna call that in. That is 2 kilo. That's actually a lot. Should be full in. We're gonna need it over here more than anything. Okay. That'll be materials to work with. Both of our rocket pilots are currently en route to a mission. Radiation on this thing real quick. 92,297. Go, go, go. Definitely getting there. And so many hearts from the... Oh my goodness. So many. Okay, yep, I think that's a good stopping point. I got 2,651. I'll take it. Oh man, that's a lot. Actually a lot done, to be honest. 51. Oh. I'm just glad the phosphorus generator is technically done. Probably gonna need to set up a timer sensor for it so that way we don't flood the entire thing. Because we are using hydrogen as our transfer medium, and the phosphorus does turn into a gas for a split second, and then it turns back into a liquid. So that'll probably need to be timed. God, it's... Just thinking how much mass that's going to be. We just send all the phosphorite through it to turn it into pure phosphorus. Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot of mass. It's also a lot of energy, because again, converting phosphorus from phosphorite actually increases the temperature in the room, because it's actually generating more heat. But I think that's all she wrote for today's episode. So, yeah, no, I am content with that. We definitely have to get Mine the Gap. We'll probably sort through some of the other achievements in the next couple episodes. And then obviously the big one's getting the space station completed and all the hot tubs done. Once that's complete, well, I can go for the rift and that'll be it. But for now, thanks guys for tuning in, and hopefully I will catch you guys on the next episode.